I might have bought something. Now I know what you're thinking. This is insane. Why would you buy a motorcycle? You've never ridden one before. I know, and I know. But gas is very expensive, and there's no better time to learn how to do something this stupid when I'm this young. We're gonna change the spark plugs, and we're gonna change the oil and the drive shaft gear oil as well. So come with me, and let's do some maintenance. First off, spark plugs. So first things first, I don't have a rear seat, so I don't have to worry about taking this bolt out. But I do have a front seat, and there's two very nicely rusted bolts here that I'm gonna have to remove. So let's get on that first and see how we can get these off. Let's see if we can lift the seat up. There we go. Next thing we have to do is remove this Allen key style bolt that's bolting in the gas tank together. We're also gonna have to remove this instrument cluster or panel here. All right, now we can remove this. We just have to be careful with the electrical connection that's on there. All right, now that we have that removed, we can go ahead and remove this bolt here. Lift this up. And we have to remove the stuff from under here. Disconnect that. Then you have this fuel line here. Alright, should be able to just pull this off. It's to our engine. This is kind of our air intake. We have a coolant reservoir right here. And we have to get to our spark plugs next. Alright, so we've removed the top. I believe this is 5/16. So now we have access to our spark plug wire here. So we have to pull this in order to get to our spark plug. So, yeah. You can see our spark plug in there. We'll just get a spark plug socket and get this out. So replacing our normal spark plugs, we have a set of Iridium IX NGK spark plugs specifically fitting the bike that we have. So we're just going to verify fitment with the spark plug socket. All right, so these specifically, it's going to be an 18. All right, so now that we have our spark plug ratchet inside, we're going to go ahead and loosen our spark plug, which seems to be pretty loose, if I'm being honest. I don't think it should be that loose. All right, so we've gotten the old spark plug out. It actually doesn't look too bad, but it does have some oil on it, so that's probably something we're gonna have to address in some time. But they don't look too bad, honestly. I expect them to look a lot worse. All right, so this is the old versus the new comparison. Again, not as bad as I expected. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our new spark plug. So we'll get our 18mm spark plug socket and get this one on. At first, we'll start by just hand threading the new spark plug on. I already hand threaded it quite a bit, so we're ready to actually tighten it. I believe these are to about 18 foot-pounds, so really not that much. So once you have it there, just make sure that crush washer gets crushed, and then that should be just about what you need. You don't need to super tighten it in there. All right, once you do that, you can go ahead and reinstall your spark plug wire. So I kind of put everything back together by myself. I didn't get any of it on camera, my phone died, but this was super simple to do. You just had to take the fuel tank off, and then the spark plug is right there. Then the other side, you just have to take this panel off right here, and then you have access to that fuel or that spark plug right there. So let's talk about helmets. I don't have anything crazy. As a matter of fact, I just have like a standard motorcycle helmet. It's a fully enclosed helmet. But I wanted to get something for it that would allow me to talk to people that I'm riding with, maybe listen to some music, and ultimately the most important thing is crash detection. Come in the Cardo Pack Talk Pro. Now this might be a little overkill for me because really I'm just riding, starting out. But this has really good speakers and you can talk to your buddies while you're riding, and ultimately it has that crash detection that I'm worried about. So let's get to installing it. So these are your speakers right here. Mounting points in the microphone. This is my helmet. It's a fire starter. Nothing crazy. It's just got then this just snaps in like that. Disconnect it. If you want it. Just clean the inside of that with some alcohol, get all the grease and install it. And once this light starts flashing blue and red, leave the one that goes away from it. Alright, so now we're going to be replacing the engine oil and drive shaft gear oil. So here we have our oil fill plug. And it's just a twist off. Alright, so right here's our oil drain plug. It's going to be a size 14. Yeah, looks alright. Seen worse. A little more out. Alright, here's our oil filter. Let's see if some Jiffy Lube techs installed it, or if we can pull it off by hand. There's no way I'm fitting my hand in there to get that off. Let's see if we can use our special musket tool. There we go. Still Suzuki branded. Wonder how many miles I have this thing. What's up, dude? Alright, just met some nice guy that lives right next to me. Also has a bike. He has a 06 Honda Shadow, so that's pretty cool. Hey, how's it going? Not too bad. Releasing this Suzuki OE filter with a K&N performance filter. This thing should fit ours. We're gonna pre-fill it and get some oil on the gasket and then install it. Make sure we're very careful with this plug. Go and hand tighten that thing. Yeah, hand tighten, just that much. New filter. Get some of this oil on That should be nice and ratchet tight. Alright, gonna loosen this. It's a little big. Alright, so got one of these. These we're gonna go and fill it. It takes 3.6 quarts of 10W40. You got Valvoline full synthetic 4-stroke oil. So 1 quart going in. That's about 3.6 right there. Now let's see how many quarts of oil are actually in this engine. .3. Okay. 1.5 and a half. So it had less than half of what it needs to run. Who knows how long it's been ridden that low? Don't listen to the people that tell you that they changed it 1,000 miles ago, and you should still have another 1,000, 2,000 miles left on your oil change, because they lie. And this is proof. Not good. I'm sure this engine is going to be a lot happier once we start her up again with fresh oil and the right amount of oil. All right, next up we have our drive shaft gear oil we're gonna be changing. This is pretty simple. We have a drain plug down here and a fill plug right here. All right, it's a 21 mil. All right, standard practice. Let's make sure we can remove this fill plug. Oh, wow. Okay. Might have put a little too much in there. Should not be spilling out like that. And a little bit of metal. It's magnetic, so that's good. The wrong bolt. Thankfully, they make them in different sizes. You've ever seen Grown Ups 2? Chris Rock is telling his son to not do what he just did on his driving test. You follow those instructions. Don't do what I just did. Got some Valvoline 80W90 daily protection. When it starts seeping out like this, you don't need to tighten it, not pour. And tight. Well, mildly tight, I should say. Let's recap. We drained about 1.6 quarts of oil from this engine that requires at least maximum of 3.6 with the filter change. So whoever last replaced this oil either A, did it a long time ago, or B, lied to me, which I'm not happy about. If you don't know, oil in engines is the lifeblood. You can't have an engine without oil. And it having too little oil will cause it to start eating itself from the inside. So the fact that this didn't have as much oil as it requires is not a good sign. But the good thing is that now we do have the amount of oil it needs, and we'll be checking it constantly. Now let's fire this baby back up and see how she sounds. She's happy. Well, everyone, that wraps up my first motorcycle video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's super new to me. I've never worked on a bike before, so it's a lot of learning, but I will be putting out more content, hopefully restoring this thing back to its original beauty and seeing what we can do with it. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed.